Hey, thank you, Don. It is a
Hey.
super cool intro.
Yo!
Hey.
Okay. With that, Waffles, I'm gonna stop talking.
Thank
All
God.
right. You did make your second successful save against radiation with the help of Dr. Lin last time.
Mm-hmm.
And Tetsu.
And Tetsu.
And Tetsu. Tetsu helped Dr. Lin, even though Dr. Lin rolled like a 27 alone.
Wow.
Yeah, helped
I
with
guess.
quotation marks. Yeah, that.
I think in canon I explained it as Tetsu stood there and nodded along and gave Dr. Lin confidence.
Yes,
I
good job,
remember audio
Tetsu. That
entering
is aspirin.
And I
but
thought I was the catty one.
we ended with you guys shooting out a docking signal, as in like requesting to dock at Upwell Station, and then we will pick up with you guys pulling in. Docking at Upwell Station is easy enough. You're hailed in, you're grabbed by this beacon laser, and you're brought to a docking station inside of Upwell. As per any larger space station, there's no need to hook up to an airlock as you dock inside and pressurize your ship to atmosphere and oxygen. Your cargo doors let down, and you are greeted by what looks to be a bustling town of dirt and grime. Though grimy, Upwell does not seem to be quiet. It is a large space station. Judging by size from the outside and amount of people inside, you can guess that it's probably about a space station of about 100,000 people. Besides the smell of oil and grease, you walk out to see a female android standing there with a clipboard. And as you're all walking out, everyone can also give me a perception check.
Is now the bad time to say that we didn't even talk about our strategy for this meeting at all? Like we didn't plan it. No.
Well,
Yes.
we don't
Very
have
bad
any background
time.
until we see the place, you know.
I'm just saying the captain failed us, and also we're not on Roselight, remember. We're
That's
still
true. You're not on Roselight yet.
potentially fine.
Ooh, 26. I am.
Hey, oh, damn it,
21's not too
Len.
bad for me.
You beat me by 1. I rolled a 19 for a 25.
Get
keep
wrecked.
forgetting where my perception is, but I found it. 19. That's not
I
bad.
just want to be good at something.
No.
All right.
We'll
Dr.
get there,
Len.
Tetsu. We'll get there when we can murder things.
Dr. Lin, Moat, and Tetsu all rode over a 20. You guys, as you're walking out, you also smell this slightly sweet smell in the air. Just like very slightly sweet. It's very faint, hard to perceive. Zeha and Eisen actually don't even smell it. But you're greeted by a female looking android, blue hair, kind of has this like her left side shaved. She looks up and she goes, "Yes, what is the captain's name?"
Of the ship.
Yes.
Zehavumti.
You see her like writing down ship name.
Emissary. Hold on. Emissary.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got it right.
Okay, and how long will you be staying?
I glance over at to Nenal.
Then I'll kind of speaks up. She goes, "We should be here about 2 or 3 days. I know that shouldn't be a problem." She goes, and you hear the android respond. She goes, "Yes, as long as it is less than a week, it should not be a problem. Thank you." And she like, you see her put her clipboard like under her arm and begin to walk away.
Zeha definitely like takes a second to like straighten out her clothes and remember like, oh yes, this I have to do this now. This is a thing. Okay.
Wow. Real smooth. You know, you really give off the air of a captain. Gotta work on that, okay? Come on. You're embarrassing us.
Yes, well, I'm trying, and
It was
and she just
fine.
like is very flustered actually, like less composed than you'd think she would be, and she just, yes, I'm trying. Sorry.
Shall we move on?
Yes. Is this? I look around like what all is there around here?
There is a lot of like these hover forklifts just carrying crates and barrels. There is like small little vendors set up that you assume are just there to service or sell things to people that are docking. Basically, think of a very shoddy tourist trap, and then like as you look down the hallways, the curved hallways where the ships like stop having docking ports, you see it kind of thin out into basically nothingness, where you assume like berthings and where living space would be.
Okay.
Eisen will turn to Ninal and say, "Do you need to make any calls before we go down to the planet's surface?"
Yes, actually, I do have something to take care of. I think it'll take me about an hour. If you guys will let me take care of it, and we'll just meet right there. And you see her point to this, what looks to be like a curved bar kind of jutting out from the wall, and you see like this very rickety sign that says "Nuts and Bolts" over it.
Is it wise for you to be
Why do you
on your
mean to leave
own?
us?
We're sure to. It won't take long for anyone to know that we've docked. If you're found alone, it's a perfect opportunity.
I mean, they won't be up here. They're on Roselight, like down on the planet
Well,
down there.
They will be here.
In the event
At
you
the
do
very
get taken,
least, you need something to tell you, for us to know, like, you're not just, fucked or something like that. Like, look, here. Mutt pulls the curled up inactive wasp out of their pocket or off their belt and says, put him somewhere where, he's not going to be seen or anything like that, like a bag or pocket or something like that, and just keep him on you, If something goes wrong, you can give him a few taps and he'll let me know.
Can you not travel with us? Can we not go where you're going?
No.
Very well.
And you see her stuff the wasp into a bag and kind of like the wall. She stuffs the entire wall into a bag. She hulks out, stuffs the wall into a bag, the wasp into a bag, and like buttons it up. And you like, it's hard to see, but you see her like taking almost like extra precaution to ensure that like it's going to stay in a ball and not come out unless she really wants it to.
I look at her to see if, like, is she carrying anything, like, hidden on her, like weapons, or, like, trying to hide something? Like, Tetsu doesn't like that she's trying to go off on her own when we're her
Yeah,
bodyguards.
Eisen is making the same check.
You can give me a perception check, both of you.
And can I just make a sense motive to see if she's trying to do something untoward or something she's purposely trying to hide from us?
Sure.
She's blatantly hiding it from...
Yeah.
15.
And 9 for me.
Would you allow me to use... Let's see. Yes, I'm actively trying to probe, so to speak, a living organism. So can I do my culture check instead of a sense motive?
I think that's Moat's job.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, well, great. 13.
Okay. Eisen and Tetsu, you guys kind of looking her over. She doesn't seem to be hiding anything that you can see. She does have a bag that you don't know what's inside it, that she brought on the ship as well, but like she hasn't shown you the inside of the bag where she stuffed Wasp. I about called you.
Does she have a gun?
Not that you can see. Zeha, you're kind of like gauging her tales and everything just based on her culture. She doesn't seem to be overly hiding anything from you. She's very blatantly hiding stuff from you, as they said. But she also knows she's openly hiding it. She's like, I just don't want you to know. I'm leaving for an hour. We'll meet there.
Tetsu looks over at Zeha and leans down a bit and says, "Can you please give her one of your guns? She's unarmed."
Do you need a gun on your person and all? Do you know how to use one?
I do know how, and I would rather not have a weapon on my person right here. No. I'm a
Fine.
diplomat. I'm dressed like one. I will not be taken by anyone that isn't the Aspis Consortium, and if I'm found with a weapon, if they take me, then that probably won't turn out pretty either.
Look, Ninal, you do understand our hesitation here. You hired us to escort you, and now you are trying to not be escorted by us. We have concerns, can you at the very least tell us the nature of your personal business?
Yes, I'm gonna meet an old friend on Upwell.
Very well.
One thing out of character real quick.
Sure.
She would most likely remember that Wasp had a weapon in its abdomen. So if that would factor into whether or not she'd be agreeable to take him, that might be something to consider.
Okay. She'd have a quick conversation with you about if she doesn't want Wasp to unfurl, will it? Like, if someone else taps it, will it be like unfurling or anything?
Nah, it's just gonna be sending some stuff to me. It'll let me know something's going on, and yeah, no, it's not just
Then
gonna go into attack mode or anything like that.
Yeah. Then she's fine with it as long as like she can control it, and it's for all intents and purposes it's just a metal ball.
All right. So we'll meet you there in an hour and let us know. And I don't know how these technologies work, but like we exchange numbers so she can call me on like if she needs it, right?
Yeah, you exchange comm codes,
There you
and
go.
basically you have your comm set to like each other. Where obviously if you don't press a button, it's like walkie-talkies. If you don't press a button, you're not sending messages, so you're not just hearing everything all the time, but you can contact each other.
Perfect. It's like a pager. Perfect. So comm unit exchange. All right. So we'll meet you there. Stay safe, and I sort of look around at us, shall entertain ourselves. I mean, we shall do some research.
Very well. And she begins to walk away.
Tetsu's watching where she goes, and then like, is there any way to like track people like an iPhone? Like, find my phone. Like, can I like watch her
Not-
like that way and just keep track? No.
Not without, I mean, you can watch where she goes and like get a sense of where she might be going until she disappears, but you would have to place a tracker onto someone to try to track them.
I wait
okay.
for her to like get a certain distance away, and then I immediately turn to Moat. Can he listen in, as you listened in to myself and her apparently earlier, while in the ball form at the very least?
Wait, excuse me. I feel that is a gross violation of privacy, if you will pardon me speaking frankly. Leave her to her business. She asked for privacy. If she gets kidnapped, we gave her all the proper warning. Exactly.
I would like her not to
That's
be
not
kidnapped, please.
That's
And
not
it's
how
n-
this works.
Yes, I don't want her
I
to be kidnapped
understand that.
either, but at the same time, we're putting our lives at risk. And she's not being honest with us. Or at the very least, open.
Well,
That's not our problem.
so regardless, and we can talk about what may or may not have happened with, whatever it is you think Wasp saw, but no, just recording audio isn't really a strong suit. It's got to be activated by me, so that's not really something that's going to happen. Also,
We should look into getting that upgraded
What do you-
then.
well, I mean that I got to be. What? So you want me to have some spy drone that can just go wherever, do whatever it wants,
Yes,
and
please.
just remotely do things that might violate privacy?
It certainly would be useful, wouldn't it? Deadpan.
Well, I mean, sure, but that's not really its purpose, I don't think.
Well, that's fine.
I mean, I don't intend.
It's
But I
fine. We
mean, if you
shall-
want to put in a request, I suppose I could do something like that.
All I'm saying, if, for example, we're not allowed into the Silver Drake with her, as she suggested might be an issue, if we're not allowed past the front door, and she still had that with him, with you, your thing with him, her, Jesus, just dies.
Gotta figure it out, lady.
That is syrup,
Do you-
just not.
Do you need a drink? Cause
Yes, please.
I could use one.
And actually, there are some things I wouldn't mind. Did anybody use charges? I'm sure there's a charging station if anybody needs it. Out of character.
Nice part of having a
like-
sword.
I could use a charge. Yeah.
Well, perhaps
I
they have
look
one
at Tetsu.
at the bar. Let's go look for. Actually, do we want to go to the bar that we're supposed to meet at?
For now.
I can wait there for her, but I do not care.
Is there anything that we need to buy that can help us? Perhaps we should talk about our plan for the Silver Drake. Is there anything?
Tetsu just looks at his comms with his credits and goes, I do not need to buy anything.
Yeah, same. I kind of used up most of what I got.
I think we're all in the
I
same
lost
boat.
a couple bets back in S2R.
I have, you know.
All right, fine.
It's expensive getting out from the vast to the Pact Worlds.
To the bar then. And she will go looking for, like, is there many bars around here? And is it like choice of, like, you know, in the airport, at least
I think we got
in Newark
pointed at one.
Airport in New Jersey, you have like center things like every 5 steps of like just bars in the middle.
Yeah, there's like 3 right here. The one you got pointed to, and then the one you got pointed to is like this shoddy bar. It has like 3 bar seats, and then 2 small like round tables, and you see this weird. Let me finish, Dr. Lin. You see this weird jellyfish-looking thing behind the bar with these kind of tendrils coming out of its mouth, and you see that like those tendrils are what's like it's like grabbing like 2 drinks at one time and sliding one down the bar. You see another one that looks a little more upscale, kind of has like a rug as carpet for the whole place, but it doesn't have any tables, just has a bar. You see a little Yosoki behind the bar there, and then you see another one probably about 30 feet down that actually has like a roped gate and somebody standing in a suit in front of the gate, which you imagine that judging by your talks you wouldn't be allowed in there with your credits.
I start to walk towards
Tetsu
the one.
head towards the shoddy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
start to the one. That's the one we're supposed to meet her at, right? Yeah, I start
Yep.
walking there, and then as I kind of like see it, I like turn towards the middle of the pack one, and I'm like, would you mind if we went here?
We'll be more conspicuous that way. At least if we're in the low class one, they probably don't have working cameras.
Are we supposed to be avoiding cameras for any reason?
Who knows? With a ward like her, you can never be too careful.
Well, we're not with her.
We are already
Sense
being-
motive, Eisen. And then, actually, I suppose I haven't. Weird question. Can I like how does this ability that I have work? Like, can I right now first try to pass a culture check on Shimreens to get an idea?
I'm gonna say no.
That
I'm
makes
gonna say
sense.
like you have to have like learned about them purposely, basically, whether that's
Sure.
a culture check prior already knowing or you researching them.
All right.
This ability that she's talking about is something we homebrewed. She has her own background that if she has succeeded a culture check against the race that she is attempting to sense motive on, she can roll culture instead of sense motive.
It is called espionage knowledge, but I don't know why it's called that. That's totally irrelevant. I got a 10 on my sense motive.
What does she learn?
Is that like a good success, or like what would that be? In
I mean,
context?
you would be rolling a deception or diplomacy, whatever you wanted. Like if all your call, you can roll deception if you're lying to her, and honestly, if you're telling the truth, you can just give her what she thinks she knows on what would be an average roll of a 10.
To kind of narrow it down a little bit, like all I'm doing is trying to understand if you are suspiciously trying to avoid the cameras for any other particular reason. So
He seems slightly standoffish about this area in general, but you're not sure if it's just because it's horrible or whatnot. But it seems more that at this particular moment he is somewhat suspicious of Nanal, and he's just like, he understands that she's doing some sort of game here, and whatever that game is, it's gonna go south eventually.
Gotcha. The only thing is that one, and I point to the one that is only a bar, well, we don't have the ability to really grab ourselves a table and discuss some plans of actions without being openly overheard, but perhaps that one has some tables that we can huddle around.
Just to make sure you know how it is set up, the shoddy one is the one with 2 tables. The
Yeah.
medium bar does not have any tables at all.
Fine, then that's what I say to convince myself to go to the shoddy one.
You have convinced me.
That's
Tetsu
what-
continues walking.
I think Aizen is just walks past you as you're convincing yourself.
All right.
So like a credit covers like a drink, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally it would be like 2 credits for a bad, for like a low end drink, low end food, that kind of thing. You imagine this one is 2, but you can
Alright,
ask when
yeah.
you get up there.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys do walk up, you do see that sign, the really, really, really shoddy sign that's made out of just like metal sheets, basically, that says nuts and bolts. It is a shoddy, kind of open to the air public bar that once you get closer, you see that it has like a tap on the back wall, has literally 2 to 3 selections, and then like 2 bottles of liquor. It has like a bottle of whiskey and a bottle of vodka. And you see this really weird pink looking jellyfish thing from the back that some of you probably know as Barathu, and some of you might not, but I will show you a picture of them real quick.
Oh, let me get us over there then. Ooh, that's gross and cannot
Waffles,
possibly be
quick question.
sanitary.
Is there any sort of, music playing in this bar?
None whatsoever. The music of all of the background banging and intercom systems of the space station.
Tetsu
This place
pulls out
sucks, I hate
its comm device and starts playing some music.
As we're sitting down, Aizen will kind of lean down to Moat. Can you track that thing, that bug of yours, if things go wrong?
Yeah, in general, I know about where it is until it gets half a mile away from me. Then it's kind of hard to keep track of. Or well,
If it suddenly
lose
picks up in
contact.
speed or doesn't move for too long, let us know, won't you?
I'll do what I can. I'll tap into the audio channel every now and then, just kind of
Wait,
See,
you can
well-
tap into the audio?
look. I won't. It's not good per se, especially when it's sitting in a bag. But I mean, if it tells me something's up, feel
Look.
some taps, I'll
Can
tap
we agree to this? We'll just take this table
I check in on
as
it?
I slowly just grab one of the tables. Can we agree, Dr. Lin, to simply check in and make sure that she is with her intended goal and source to make sure she's safe? Just a quick check-in. We won't listen in. Just make sure that it is.
Every few minutes.
Sure, I suppose that is fine. My real issue was in your desire to try and spy on her more. But
No.
yes, that's fine.
Of course not. I understand a person's privacy is important to them. I just want to look out for ourselves. As captain.
She is already planning on being kidnapped, and I don't look forward to that happening so early.
Well,
Yes.
I doubt she
Yeah.
wants to be kidnapped about as much as we don't want her to be kidnapped.
She did seem
So-
But she
surprisingly
seems to
fine
be
by
expecting
it, though.
it. Yes.
You guys are all talking about this kidnapping at the bar, like right beside the bartender, right?
No.
No, I
low.
grabbed myself the table.
Okay.
If they are talking about it loudly, Eisen would like have slammed, like tried to sit down and been very loud about it
Yeah,
with
yeah.
his rock body and how heavy it was.
Just keep like cracking
I don't
into
know
the
that
table.
Eisen really has
so
he just
sorry.
breaks the bar stool.
Amazing. How
You
loud must
electrocute
you
the
be to
bartender.
just like if you're sitting in a chair and like let's say like you sit on a bar stool with your hands on the bar, it's like just crackling everywhere. Anyways.
All right. What are you guys doing? What's the 1, 2, 3 right here?
I do have one request, Waffles.
Okay.
Is there any sort of... I know they don't exist, but in Pathfinder 2e, there is, like, unique lore, like, knowledge rolls, right?
Sure.
And my background is in, like, being a bodyguard. Can I just make, like,
Sure.
some sort of, like, knowledge bodyguard roll to, like, see, based off of her demeanor and how she was walking, if she was, like, thinking she was walking towards a threat, or if she actually thought that, like, she was walking towards an ally when she went off?
I'll let you make a sense motive with a +2.
Thank you.
Why would she lie to us?
So there are professions in Starfinder. So you could be a profession bodyguard, but I will let you make a sense motive with a +2, just based on you having been a bodyguard and wanting to know that exact piece of information.
How does that make you feel, Tetsu?
So, 13.
Kind of upsets me. I want my +2.
Make a
I have
bodyguard check.
defeat.
Oh, no. So it's +2 is 14. So 14.
Yep. Okay. 14 sense motive. For all you think, she knew she thinks she's going to at least an old friend. She wasn't on edge. She didn't want a weapon, and you don't think she's the type of person that would purposely put herself in danger.
Got it.
That
Good.
doesn't seem to be
Right.
true. She's going here.
With us, of all people, right?
Yeah, not a confidence builder there.
Now I'm just really
She didn't
curious. How
choose
do you
us, to be
spell
fair.
Nanal?
Nehnall.
Oh, okay.
I did not
Close,
spell it that
close,
way at
close,
all.
close.
Close.
I had an H.
Yeah, I had NHAL. We'll take it. It's
We'll
fine.
take it.
I spelled it Naynaw. So
Oh boy.
Naynaw.
Tetsu's going.
Naynall?
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
that southern.
Nay nay?
Nay, nay.
That's
her
how I
name,
heard it,
her name's
Waffle.
Naynall.
Naynaw, feller.
Okay, what are you guys
Okay.
doing? We've been at this.
We
we've
Tetsu
been at
is
this
going up
bar
to
and
the
we haven't done
bar.
anything.
We're playing
No,
Space
Tetsu-
Starfinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tetsu's going up to the bar and kind of goes to like order a drink to this barkeep and just says, "A whiskey and soda, please." Also, question: where's the
Okay.
nearest? Where's the nearest law office here?
That'd be down in Roselight. There's no law up here. And like, as he's talking, you hear like this slightly muffled voice just kind of, it's talking and getting muffled by his tentacles, just like going out to grab you. One tentacle grabs like a whiskey, the other grabs a glass, another grabs a Coke, and it's just, he's like basically a perfect bartender. This thing's talking to you and mixing all three things without taking a step. He goes,
Oh.
it's down on Roselight. There's like this Starfinder thing, and then Silver Drake kind of runs a lot of the mining. They take care of a lot of the mining. They have the contracts. 2 credits.
He transfers 2 credits and says, "But there's no security on this station. How things run smooth though? You don't have issues?"
They don't run super smooth. I mean, especially with no security. But you know, we're here. We're a trading station, and stuff gets done. Some people die, I assume. I mean, we hear gunshots every night. You know, it's one of those places.
Thank you. And he transfers another credit on top of that and takes his drink to sit down, and then like sits and says, "Can we please check on Naynall? This is not a safe place."
While he was up there,
Yeah, sure.
so while all this is happening and like I just want to kind of watch after Tetsu and take a look at this creature. Have I ever seen this thing before? And
My horn's not that weird.
not Tetsu.
Pretty weird.
Although we should address that at a different point, but basically I probably would have over the time of the spaceship just like learned what I can about the people I'm with, but we'll do that another time. For now, this weird bartender, have I ever seen this thing and what do I know about them?
Give me a culture check.
I thought you'd never ask. 23.
Ooh.
Hey,
Okay.
Not
Uh,
bad.
23. You know that these things are called Varathu. They are basically these were the apex of sentient creatures on the planet Bretheta. They were like the humans of Earth. That's what they were on Bretheta. You know a couple of weird things about them. You know that the concept of self is weird to them because they can merge with each other and become these kind of super organisms. So if say like a house of them were attacked, like 6 would merge together, become this super organism, and hence like the concept of having
Voltron.
a self is odd to
That's
them.
wild.
Yeah. You
me
also
and
know
the
that they
boys
can.
fusing into the Superboy.
You also know that they can rewrite their rewrite their genetic code at will. It allows them to basically manufacture nearly any kind of like rock or substance with their body. So like these mandibles, you know that they're what they were originally used for is like if they had iron, they could rewrite their genetic code to like eat iron and process it. And then if they went somewhere else and they needed trees, they can rewrite their genetic code to eat trees and process it.
So the majority of it is to adjust to their environment and survive, not like they can't suddenly be made of iron.
No, they can't do anything like that. It's more about like their inside genetics and like what they survive on or can survive in terms of weather and that kind of stuff.
Perfect. Well, that's wild. So you just see Zeha kind of like staring and spacing out for a little bit on this crazy bartender, as Moat, I guess, checks in with Wasp.
Yeah, as Tetsu makes the request to check in, the faceplate shows an image of kind of, I guess.
Is it just a little bubble?
I'm trying to. It's more like it's the shape of Wasp, but it's like not filled in, so it's just very basic, like dotted line type thing. And there's like a like Wi-Fi signal thing on both sides of it, and you kind of gather that means listening to audio only, as Moat turns on audio sensors or listens in on the audio channels for Wasp.
Okay. You're listening in. You predicted it was going to be rough pretty correctly, but you're kind of listening and trying to listen in very carefully. And you can for sure make out that there's a female voice and a male voice. And you're sitting here, you're listening, and you just hear this like, do they still have it? Yeah, they have it? Okay. Yeah, okay. And that's all you can really make out.
Space Daddy?
Interesting.
Can we hear that, Moat, or no?
No, it's just Moat that can hear it. But after
Tetsu's just leaning into you, like, just
after
waiting.
it kind of goes back to the muffled sound and nothing else can be made out, Moat will kind of turn their head a little bit, and the generic smile expression comes back on, and they look over and see Tetsu and just kind of jump back a bit. Okay, that's closer than I thought you were going to be. Well, which voice was asking and which voice was responding?
The female voice was asking if they still have it. The male voice was responding.
Okay. As far as I can tell, well, our friend is asking about something, making sure someone still has it, and the dude that they're seeing is confirming it's there. I don't know what. Can't really make it out. Like I said, it's wasp is in a bag. It's not really useful here.
But she's
that's about what
calm
I can
and
get.
safe.
She's talking.
That's not useful. Give Wasp some credit.
Thanks.
Yeah,
You're
Tetsu
welcome.
pretty much relaxes when it becomes clear that she's fine.
All right. So,
Um,
everybody have drinks that wants them. Oh, thank you. And I grab Tetsu's.
I will get
Mo-
another. And he just
Mo-
gets up to go get another.
Moat follows and hoists himself up on the bar and looks up at the bartender and asks, "Hey, any places around here where they kind of just junk some stuff, get rid of some scraps, or sell them for cheap, anything like that?"
Not really around here. There's not much of that. We mine a bunch of gas and we get it sent here. You drink?
Okay, well, yeah, I'll have a something basic.
You want the little one?
Kid size.
Sippy cup.
Eyebrow raises on the faceplate. No, I'll
He
take a
is-
regular.
Yes, he is a regular size.
Okay. 2 credits, and you like one tentacle like slithers out and points at you, Tetsu, and another one at you, Moat, and goes 1 credit, and you see him like go to one of the taps, and he does another rum and coke for Tetsu, and for you there's like this almost sludgy like kind of ale beer type thing.
Nice.
The symbol of the credit shows up on Moat's mask, and it like basically goes from a wallet, like flies up from a wallet in the bottom of the mask to one at the top, and gives a check mark. And
Does the Mario
Moat
coin
says-
sound effect play?
no, it's just a
Just a visual.
yeah, and
Awesome.
Moat takes his drink and goes and sits back down.
Okay.
Dr. Len, like while they're kind of doing this, leans back against his seat and folds his tentacles across like his quotation marks chest, and says to Eisen, "Not getting a drink."
Here. He like looks around. I don't think anything is clean. I don't really understand what meat sacks eat at times like these from places like this.
Get out of my bar! No, I'm just kidding.
He's saying it quietly. He's not like
I know,
screaming
I know.
across the bar.
Zeha does
I
raise an
can't
eyebrow at
exactly
that.
blame you.
Tetsu actually is coming back with 3 drinks and no money left in his wallet. As he returns,
Oh,
sets them
child.
down on the table, and kind of like glances at Zeha, and then just sits and like sips at one. Unsure who else might need a drink.
Dr. Len kind of looks down at his pants and then at Tetsu and just shakes his bell once. Thank you for the gesture.
I did not think you might drink, but in case.
I hate to say this, but Eisen would like.
I'm
sense
bunking with him,
motive.
okay?
Yeah, like. Can I make some sort of sense motive? What was that look?
Yeah, give
like
me-
I as the player understand what it was, but Eisen as the character does not.
You can give
He
me a
goes around
culture
the room
check to
pantsless.
just. You can give me a culture check to just like find out what the look was, or a culture check to like kind of discern about him and jellyfish, or a sense motive to just like discern what the look was, like the look exactly.
Culture is a +1, whereas sense motive is a -1, so I'll do culture.
And by the way,
6.
just to quickly jump
You
back,
roll amazing.
Yeah, at times.
Mo, when you did that, I just had the thought that like if they pay with like near field communication, you just slap your head onto the device.
Hold it up.
He just headbutts the machine.
Swipe your comm unit. Kadoosh.
Yes, Eisen. You don't really have any clue what the look was. It could have been from anything of he's not thirsty to he also thinks that nothing is clean here.
Eisen has stopped caring halfway through your explanation. Like, halfway through the narrative explanation, Eisen is just like, I don't
Fuck you, DM.
Don't
That's
care,
meta.
DM.
That's SMW.
Space Master.
I won't say
That
it.
was SD.
I'm pretty sure it's SD. Yeah.
Space Daddy. Alright, anyways.
Dungeon.
Space
All right.
Daddy. There you go.
Our Big Daddy Space
Moving
Master.
on. Tetsu speaks up briefly and says, "The captain brought up a good point of having a plan. If she expects to be kidnapped, do we resist? None have been harmed, from what she says."
The thing is that
It
we
really
are going
depends.
in completely blind. And if we want to understand how... As my accent gets thicker because I forget about it all the time. If we want to understand what we're getting into, we need information. So perhaps let's plot, let's plan, and let's get some information. If there's information stations here, such as a computer that I can access, I can try to understand what the Silver Drake looks like. I don't know how much time we have and how much things we need to stir, but perhaps we can even get a layout or something about where we're actually walking into.
Well, the odds are we won't be allowed in the room. If she's not letting us meet whoever she's meeting with now, there's no way she's letting us into that tavern.
No, if you recall
It
what
is
she
less about
said,
her
it's
and more
not-
about them.
Yes, exactly. She's willing, I believe, to have us enter the room with her. It's whether or not they want us to. So perhaps we can plot a way
Waffles.
to ensure at least one of us goes in? With Wasp?
Waffles, assuming kind of like most taverns or like station stuff, like this has a terminal that is like the bar has like a terminal that's actually hooked up to the station, probably.
Yeah,
Like the tablet?
it's what he's using to like write
Yeah.
up your like orders and such.
Is
Yeah.
the one at the
So
table
Tetsu
for us?
nods and says,
No,
"Yeah, this is not Applebee's, okay?" uh,
I pull up solitaire on my tablet.
Yeah, Tetsu looks at Zeha and nods and says, "She has a good plan. That we cannot fight them. There will be too many, but perhaps we can surprise them by knowing more than they expect. One can distract and one can see if we can download blueprints." And he kind of nods to the direction of the terminal.
True.
He is not likely to care too much, but I do not have bribe money.
I can do it. It's not too much trouble.
Right, sorry about that. I will transfer 2 credits to you, Tetsu, just for the drink. Like, as you say that, she's just like,
I'm fine.
Right. She does it, anyways.
No, it's... please. No, it's... okay.
So, what are we doing?
Well,
then?
right, so obviously the first step is simply to insist that we're in the room with her. But I don't know how much leverage we have with that. We can simply walk in there and say, no, sorry, she's not leaving our site. Or we can... Alright, let's take a step back.
We
Who
cannot
knows
all...
what about the Aspis Consortium? At all.
I
And
know
can I-
some.
Can I, like... I don't know if I've already done a check on this or not, but, like, what do I know about them and how they operate?
You've all kind of done a check back on whatever that first planet was that I can't remember the name of now.
Akaton? Are you
Yeah,
sure you're
Akaton.
SD?
Yes. Back
You're
on
five.
Aguton, you guys all kind of did a check over the Silver Drake and the Aspis Consortium. You know that the Aspis Consortium is part of the Pact, like signed into the Pact, and still known for most of its illegal kind of dealings. You know that most of their illegal dealings are done outside of the Pact worlds, because if they're done within the Pact, they're still subject to law, especially from signing it, etc., etc. there's rumors. Tetsu is probably the only one that really knows it. But there's rumors of them being like mob type of dangerous and that kind of stuff. But other than that, everyone else just knows that they deal with illegal things, whether that's smuggling runs to killing people. It's just illegal things.
Yeah, Tetsu will kind of explain and just say the Aspis Consortium is involved in a lot of illegal activity in the Pact territories. They are less terrible. However,
At least up front.
yes, but they will not care about us posturing. They may humor us by allowing one in if they don't want all in, and I would be willing to risk that.
So what was the
But-
goal
and
of
I
all
can
of
do-
this, though? So I hear you, but what does the Aspis Consortium want? It was taxes, right? They didn't want to pay their taxes.
Not to be taxed,
Mhm.
yes.
Right. So what? Obviously, Ninal told us the behind the scenes, which is that they typically commandeer the
Kidnap.
yes, the emissary and then or ambassador, and then request the money, and then boom, waived, get whatever they want. But they can't be up front
Yes.
and say, "Hey, we want an ambassador to kidnap." So what are they doing? Negotiations? Is that the point of this? Because then
They must have
They
bait.
ask for a negotiator. They take the negotiator. Everybody knew, and all included, that is how this worked.
That only works the first or maybe second time.
She
They
says
must
it's
have
been done
bait.
many times.
There must
And
be a
the
reason
why-
they take the
Don't get
table.
me wrong. Aren't we here to? Is she here to negotiate a payment for a previous holding, or is
previous
this a different kind of negotiation? Did they like hold someone and she's paying for that?
No,
Isn't
no.
that kind of what this is?
No, she
No.
just simply said that that's a common occurrence amongst them, but that
Tactic.
it's just a matter of we really should talk to her more.
If
From my understanding, they simply want to, on the surface, negotiate with a ambassador and try to negotiate these taxes. So if it's just supposed to be a conversation, then I suggest that we all simply insist that we tag along.
they will not want that,
But then
they do not like people who deal in illegal. They deal in
Where-
illegal things.
Of course, but where do we draw the line? She's an ambassador. We're here to escort her and to be her bodyguards. So, what are we saying? If you want to talk to her, then go ahead. Let's come along with her.
I enjoyed your plan. We can't fight them. We can maybe make an escape route.
How
If one goes in,
Certainly.
maybe we can convince to take one in, and we first need blueprints.
I
All
think
right.
the point of the matter is we
What-
don't have a strong understanding of how badly they want to speak with her. If this is entirely coming from Starfinder Society's side, like Zeha was saying, we would have no leverage. So I think the possibility of getting one person in is a very idealistic way that would go out. But if they have any desire of getting, well, they wouldn't want someone with a gun in the room.
I have
one
no
thought
gun.
I have, as in like actively cuts in.
Metaphor.
Zeha, you were able to, on the car ride over, do something strange to Moat. When I don't
I'm so
know all the
sorry. I don't
details.
mean to interrupt. I just heard you say Zeha, and you, Dr. Len, said Zeha as well. My name is Zeha Vumti. I don't know if you forgot.
I
Did you-
cannot say those words.
I'm sorry. Continue. Yes, I
very
can.
well then.
I can do some things.
Regardless, you don't need a weapon or any sort of object to do it, at least from what I saw, correct?
So, out of character, in slight, like, retro, I can't do it in complete, like, silence. So, basically, to kind of flash back to when you first saw me do this, you saw my headband sort of, like light up with sort of like a circuit board, and it just in a very quick
Got
sort
it.
of like flashing like woof woof, and then this thing happened. So it wasn't completely subtle.
But like, if I were to look at your headband now, would it scream magical item?
No, at the moment, no. My headband, if you would like to make a perception check.
I do not believe.
6. I'm rolling 6s today, guys.
You are rolling, which bodes well for my
You're the
future
best.
medicine check. But anyways,
Yeah.
You just see it like from maybe just from the angle that you're sitting at the table with me. It's just a headband on my head.
That's enough for Eisen.
Yeah.
Could you pretend to be some sort of attendant? She came with a secretary.
True.
I don't want to say handmaiden, considering her position, but something of the like that would seem less threatening. If
A secretary sounds
This guy
perfect
or
if she's
myself.
willing. Yes.
They,
No, that's actually
after all,
very
you said
smart.
yourself you don't really like guns. So
No, not secretary. Not that word. That implies writing. That implies record.
Oh.
So, what do you suggest?
Assistant.
Sure.
How is that better?
It just simply
Not record,
widens
not
the term.
record.
I do like it. Nanal can honestly fine tune whatever she thinks a position of hers should have. So, very well. We shall start with a request for all of us to simply come in. Who knows? Maybe they will simply let us. But if not, we will insist that at the very least, I shall come in as her assistant.
you'll have to dress the part. I don't know if there's any clothing
I look
stores
down
in
at
here.
myself. I am just the part.
You're dressed perhaps
look-
too well for someone of lesser station.
This is an assistant to a ambassador. It is not someone who's underdressed. Trust me on this. This is my forte. And I do believe that this is, like, befitting. Like, it's not... I don't have to dress like a slave.
Yeah, from Eisen's perspective, he is
Deliver
very,
yourself!
he is very giving you like a judgmental look of no, when you are like, even if she is an ambassador, she is someone who is supposed to look better, and so you're supposed to make yourself look by comparison. Right? He's giving you that judgmental look of, you know, at least it's a cultural difference, right?
That's what I was
what's
going to say.
on
That's
here.
actually really fascinating because in your culture, it is a very distinct, like, you have station and you have, like, whether you are high up or not, but I think that's a very cool point, honestly. But she does
Right.
insist. She's just like, no, trust me, this is my forte. And if you want Space Master, I can roll a culture check to kind of ensure my knowledge on this.
Please
No, I
use
think
the
your
word
knowledge
record.
is sound.
Okay, perfect. But I do like Tetsu's point to, at the very least, information will help us find an escape route. And do we even know what kind of building this is? Is this a tavern? Is it a bar? Enter
It
Beer
said
and
club?
tavern, but
Is it?
that's what the name is, but that doesn't tell us anything.
The Silver is that what she said? Like the Silver Drake's a bar? Is that she said that the Silver Drake
Uh,
is
I don't think it was ever stated that it was a tavern. It is just called the Silver Drake. It is a
I
building
thought
called
there was a
And he
sil-
read his
superlative.
notes.
I thought there was a superlative there of like the Silver Drake.
I thought you
Tavern.
had said tavern.
Yeah.
In the session, okay.
If I did, it was a complete mistake. I don't think I did though. I have in my notes that says a building named the Silver Drake.
well.
Got ya.
Let's see what
You're a
I can
liar.
do.
Bar and grill.
Are there any other patrons in here right now?
Sports bar.
No.
And then secondary, for kind of trying to find information like this, because I misjudged. I tried to read up on hacking and I misjudged with the spaceship. Is this a type of hacking that I feel is even within our reach? Like, is this kind of totally wild type of information to grab?
Grabbing like blueprints about a building, like outside blueprints and stuff, isn't wild. You don't know, one, if they would be fully updated, and two, the hardest part about what you're currently trying to do is it's not kosher or good to openly hack anything. Like if somebody sees you hacking openly, like even this guy's not going to let you hack into his computer unless it's a
Well, I was gonna
sizable bribe.
say,
Sure.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, based on kind of Tetsu's past dealings and stuff, and the kind of place this appears to be, like, does Tetsu think like he could say something or kind of help, kind of make him comfortable with the situation?
Well,
Give me
sorry.
Like an
it's
insight
just
check
that
or this kind of stuff?
I'm not intending to openly hack anything, and I'm not even going to
Yeah.
tell the person.
Tetsu is. No, that's currently what he's thinking
Okay.
about.
Because I was going
Yeah,
to go ahead, do your rolls. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Tetsu just wants to know, like, if he thinks that this guy gives him that vibe. So
give me a
because
sense motive.
yeah, that's his. I just said I have no bonus to sense motive. I really need a natural 20, and it's actually a natural 20.
Okay.
I was
Well
like,
done.
He's cheating.
Heck yeah. With
I
your
am
net
cheating.
20, you know two things. One, you think with a decently sizable. So the problem is his computer is in public.
Traceable.
Yeah. Well, traceable in public. In public, same thing. Like people walking
Plumbing,
by
yeah.
would see you hacking into this thing. Like
Typing on a computer. It's fine.
Okay, question. How big is this terminal? Is it because my thoughts, and I might have just been like thinking of a wrong scenario, but like I was thinking of going up to him, and if there's no other patrons, just asking like, would you mind if I borrowed your terminal? We're new to the area. We want to see like where we want to go and bring it back to the table. Like I'm thinking like a tablet.
no, it's a bar terminal. It's like attached to the bar itself.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely
Like a
changes
light.
things.
Which is
Uh,
kind of what you need to like hack the like station.
Yeah, you
Into
can
the
you
station,
can't
right,
hack
right.
with a tablet really, or like you could hack with your own tablet being attached to Wi-Fi, et cetera, et cetera. With your natural 20 though, you know that one, that's a hindrance, whether somebody can stand in front, blah blah blah. You think you can get around that hindrance. The bigger hindrance is you know that no matter what, you can't tell them that it has to do with the Silver Drake.
Sure. No. Yeah. Definitely.
That would just be a no-go period. And that's what you know. Is it possible? Yes. You don't think it's likely. You think it's risk versus reward. You think it's 80% risk, 20% reward.
Look,
But there doesn't seem to be like any place around glancing that like would have a terminal that's open.
No.
of the places, at least this is a little bit secluded. I do understand that the risk is involved, but I can do it at a shorter time than most. I know, Tetsu, you have experience with computers as well, and I know perhaps we can work together on it, but I do have, and I kind of like show up 4 arms, and that does make for light work.
I'm fine with you doing it. I just want to actually get them. We may ask him to step aside and take a short break if he is willing, and if you have credits. And we say it is simply to check to see if our friend has arrived on station and not actually what we intend.
Perfect. Come with me. Follow my lead.
Do you have
Everybody
credits?
okay? Yes, of course.
I'm sure he'll think we're going to attempt to rob the place, and we'll flat out refuse, but an
He
attempt.
does not. His credits are in the system.
Do as you please.
If
Attempt doesn't hurt.
how many credits does it take to get somebody to look away?
Not many.
Let's find out.
Depends on the people.
Questioning
Look,
is always fun.
I'll set up a tunnel. You owe me for this, but if you need the credits, I'll open up a wire so you can pull them from me if you need it. I got 20 that I can give you.
I have 2.
I pat your hand, Moat, and as I step up, like I don't respond. I just like tap tap as I stand up. Come along, Tetsu. Let's go.
I
Meanwhile-
slowly walk towards.
Moat goes back to the straw that's in his ale and is stuffed up under his mask and
I was gonna say actually, weirdly with Zeha, as she was like kind of just swirling the whiskey and smelling it at first, you know how she has this sort of thin material that covers her nose and mouth. She just sort of like sips it through the material. Just as a side note.
Magic.
Freak!
Gross.
It's a
Kill the witch!
It's a coffee filter.
I really
It's a
need to
COVID
look
mask.
up and see
With the
what
holes in
people-
it, not very effective.
I need to see like what people do because I'm sure it's just some kind of like type of material that can definitely at the very least like drink through. But like, how does she eat?
I'm
Does she also not eat in front of people? Just like when it's
There's
She
just
food
also
time?
There's a
eats in
mouth-
her bedroom.
It's a mouth slit. It's just like.
No, no. But I
I
really
mean,
do
depending
wonder
on
if
how
like
big the
Dr.
veil
Len
is.
and Zeha take their meals in their room.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the nature of the veil, you can just lift it up and still be blocking your mouth while you're eating, right? Like, depending on
Yeah.
the...
I don't know.
It's
the
pretty
nature of the
thin, but
veil.
yeah.
Also,
It's like the
It's like
Mandalorian.
it's like a ninja mask.
at the moment it's like a ninja mask, but a lot of Kasatha wear this sort of like contraption over it, like this like
Like Bane from Batman.
yeah, a
A
little
chastity belt for your
You
face.
merely adopt darkness.
bit. Anyways,
Yeah. Anyway, you walk up to the a Kasatha walks up to the bar.
I'll just sort of like not even right next to the terminal, but just like near the side of the bar. I'll just kind of lean on the bar and
You want another drink?
actually no, we had a question for you. What's your name?
Name?
Do you identify as any way to call you, like?
I'm the bartender of this.
Very well. The bartender of Nuts and Bolts. We were discussing and we're looking for a friend of ours on the station, and unfortunately, I don't believe it'll be very easy to find them. Would you mind if we had access to your terminal for the moment? If you have any customers, we'll be happy to get out of the way, but since it's a little quiet in here.
You need access to my terminal to find someone?
If you don't mind.
You can just go ask the docking station and they'll tell you if someone's docked. You got a ship name? And the little android walks around and takes all the names down.
Yes, I know, but the android doesn't really seem willing to let us know about a ship that came in, what we hope is a couple days ago, but perhaps it hasn't arrived yet. So if you don't mind, and we'd be willing to pay you for your time, of course.
Make me a deception
look-
check with a +2.
While
No.
this is going on, Eisen has leaned over to Moat and say, how much money do you think we need to bet to see this work? Actually, no, we're betting on how... Eisen leans over and bets how quickly this falls apart. He's like, is this falling apart in 5
Bluff, by
seconds
the
or
way?
10?
Look,
Yeah.
I can't tell the thing's expression, so I got no clue.
Holy shit.
30
Plus
seconds.
2.
Oh, +2. Okay, so that was 15 plus 2, so 17. And I do say, like, and we'll be willing to pay for your time, of course. Handsomely.
What's this person's name? I'll look it up.
Oh,
Tetsu kind of leans in and says, please,
tell
we
me.
need to look for someone who is missing. They
Look,
will not want it.
something's clearly up here.
Hold on.
What do you
I am
want?
telling you, something is up.
Tetsu, please.
You're... Okay.
What is the most expensive drink you have on tap? Or at the bar?
It's 2 credits. He's drinking it.
How much for the whole bottle?
If you want the whole bottle, like 12.
Alright. I'll give you 20 credits. And you keep the bottle.
All right, but I'm watching you.
Are you sure you'd like that? I don't want to get you wrapped up in anything that you'd have plausible deniability if you simply looked away.
I want to know what I'm wrapped up in. If you're using it, I'm gonna be wrapped up.
Very well.
This
Bear
is
with me just a
acceptable.
moment. And I'm going to step back to the table.
Okay. And as you step back to the table, that is where we're gonna take our break.
Ah.
Damn it!
And
Oh,
that
goodness.
works better than expected.
I think this has this bemused look on his face. Like, he's hard to read because he's a rock person, but you can tell there's a smugness behind his, like, rock visage as you come back.
He's stoic.
Wait, we have a couple things just
Sexy.
before we jump to break. We did have a prediction. I kind of
No!
wish the prediction was if I fucked that up or not, but we do have a prediction that I don't know how to answer. So I'm gonna leave this to.
We'll just have to see.
Are we gonna? Okay, we'll just leave it and see, I suppose. I'll let
Yeah,
Waffles.
it hasn't been
Yeah,
answered.
she hasn't come back yet, so.
All right, so we shall leave
Tetsu has
that
an idea.
exactly where it is, and I will remind everybody that I think the last time I saw it's not here for me anymore. I believe we're only 5,000 away from the community challenge lore drop. Just putting that out there. And
Heck yeah. I'm about to drop 2,000 on my other account.
no, not allowed, Waffles.
Waffle!
My other
Yeah,
account's
that's
not
not
a
fair.
play.
If we can't drop, you can't drop.
Exactly.
I'm not a player. I'm a GM.
I don't know. You're a player. I mean,
We are going to be very much right back.
Oh, we need that
so
lore.
stick around. Thank you for enjoying this so far, and I can't wait to see how we still manage to fuck this up. See you guys in like 5 minutes. Bye.
Woo! Best countdown ever. I just
she is the
imagine.
worst.
I was like, man, we're about to we're astronauts about to launch off to the moon. 3, 2, 1. Just kidding. Psych.
It-
Gotcha.
Listen,
It's like
was
in
distracted.
Independence Day when he's like, he goes, "All right, ready to take off," and then like rams it backwards. Oh my bad.
I'm very good at just saying things in my subconscious. Like, I was reading Discord and I was like, all right, let's everybody ready? 3, 2, 1, as I was reading Discord. So then I stopped and I was like, just kidding. I'll actually do it now.
It's more like those people that are on those slingshot rides at amusement parks, and
Oh, mm-hmm.
they just
Take
go
'em out.
3, 2, boom,
That's how you do
or
it.
like drop the giant screw on the floor right in front of them.
3, 2. Oh wait, that's not supposed to.
Um,
Oh, your seatbelt!
oh god. All right, so. Ooh, as I want
So.
yeah, so basically, after he's just like the guy at the bar is just like, you know, I'm gonna watch you or whatever. I make my way back with Tetsu, I'm assuming, to the group. And I slide into my seat and I'm simply, well, he would be willing to be bribed. However, he does want to see what we're doing, and I'm hesitant to say that that's a good idea given it's the Aspis Consortium.
I concur.
I was thinking, and Tetsu gives like a tug on his left arm, and like you see his like flesh kind of like disconnect from each other, and he gives a twist as like a compartment in his arm opens,
What the
and
frick?
he pulls out like this kind of like fleshy tubular like cord, and he sets it down and then like closes it, and you see this like little six-legged like little skittering thing poke its head out before he like shuts
moving.
the flask or like
I think to the glass and is like, do I? Like he's like look, like he looks to the table of like, do I squish it? Like,
no the thing crawling is in his arm, and he kind of like pushes it back in and shuts his arm back up, and he goes, I carry this with me. We can attach it to the computer, and you can hook it up to your kit, and we can be on this side of the bar looking like we are talking to the barkeep, and he can be on his side, and he will not know what you are doing specifically.
Don't he? What exactly is this? And I look at it like, do I know what this is?
It is a. I would imagine if you have a hacking kit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's basic equipment, so I would assume you know what a crawling cord is. It's like meant to kind of move and like redirect itself in weird ways within like 5 feet to connect to something without like being directly attached to it. So it's meant for hackers to hook up to computers in weird situations. Like if you need to, say you slid it under a door and you wanted to hack the keypad out from the other side, you could do that.
Oh, and it does it like
That's
on its
kinda
own. Okay.
That's
okay.
that's pretty
Yeah.
dope.
All right, but it won't display on the screen.
Waffles.
It would very much display on the screen.
Ah. Well, we would not look conspicuous if we were on the right side of the bar.
Yes, but my point still
Okay, but
stands,
you-
and that is very helpful and
but
good
you-
to know. Yes, but
But you literally just said that you wanted to get into his machine, so conspicuous isn't really the option. Inconspicuous isn't really the option here anymore.
Well,
I
we
think
want
it's-
to be inconspicuous to the people not here.
Yes,
He
and that's
knows.
fine. It is. I mean, if we were going to do it, I would do that either way, because it is a good idea to just sort of sit at our table and not draw too much attention. But the Aspis Consortium is not a joke, and I don't want to get people involved that don't have to be. I will do
well, it's
this,
a bit
but
too
there's
late for that one.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't know anything. He just simply knows that we're trying to find out when our friend is going to arrive at the station.
You think they don't have eyes on it all right now? I would be very surprised
they-
if they did.
No, but I'm talking about him, the bartender. He is not involved with the Aspis Consortium and knows nothing about it, but if he is to watch us hack into this, he'll know exactly what we're doing. And then I don't trust that he won't sell us out for that information for somebody else. All around, look, hacking is
He
a
would.
risk on its own, and I'm fine with it. But that is a chaos agent. That does not make this very secure at all.
Well, what do you want to do then? You did, after all, offer to bribe him. Do we just
Sure,
sit
but if
here
we're not going to
awkwardly?
He
use-
will.
Just not pay him.
Look,
I don't really care.
If we bribe him, he will still tell the Aspis Consortium if he is worried they will find out he was involved. They are that powerful. We are not bribing
Question.
that much.
Are we at the only docking station on this station, or are there others?
There are others. This is by far like the main one. This is where 85% of traffic comes if you're going to Roselight. Specifically Roselight, obviously, but like this is where most of them come for Roselight.
Look,
To
if
give you guys, actually, I'll pull you guys to that map really quick.
Took forever. God, we need maps.
All right, I'll let the audience see.
Yeah. So obviously you see Upwell over here on the kind of upper right, and then Roselight with a zoom in of Roselight. Upwell is literally fixed orbit above Roselight and is its main like space docking station.
And are all these other little things their moons? Osoro, Halas.
Those are the main. Those are like I forget they use a word for it, but those are the main 5 moons. And then obviously you see that there's probably like 25 moons around, but those are like the main 5 moons that most of them are like habitable by people and stuff.
Sure. Look, it's getting
Halas!
later, and a lot of us I don't even know when Ninal is going to come back, so what's
She
the
said
plan?
an hour.
She said an hour, but doesn't mean that she won't be here earlier than that. How much time
I
has
think-
passed about at this point?
Probably about 35 minutes.
I suggest we
Mo-
wait on doing anything drastic until we're at least on the planet's surface.
yeah, I honestly think hacking's a really terrible idea right now. I think we just tell this guy that our friend would just pinged
Hailed
us and
us,
told
yes.
us they'd arrived.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Very well.
Really.
Is there
Tetsu
anything?
again, twist
No
his
point in
arm.
this.
Let's anything we need in the area, shopping wise, just saved ourselves
We at least
20
need
credits.
to know where we're dropping off. Can we take a shuttle straight from Upwell to the Silver Drake, or does it like drop? Can I like look at where like the drop-off points are?
You can't take. You don't know if you can take one like straight to the Silver Drake per se, but there's definite like drop-off points in Roselight where shuttles would be going for like very, very, very often. Like that's one of the main purposes of Upwell.
Got you. And is this map something like our characters can download, or is this just for us? In terms of like having access to just like a basic Google Maps of Roselight.
I mean, like this map itself, no, but like you can get some reference of Roselight from somewhere. Like the general layout of Roselight itself. You just don't have access to blueprints of buildings, just like we wouldn't as people.
Right. Mhm.
We have city map,
Yeah,
basically.
that's all I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, plan A is a bust. That was useful. Moving on.
And what was
Shot,
plan
I
A?
suppose.
Nendal says as she walks up.
Plan A is to not get separated from you.
Again.
Well, here I am. And you see her sit down and grab one of the drinks.
How was your friend?
He was good. I'm glad I got to see him, and I think we're ready for business.
Does she have anything new on her? Does she look fine? Everything good?
Yeah, you give her a general quick look over, and she looks fine.
Look,
doesn't
holds
have
her
any
hand
new on her.
out to
Get
No.
what's back.
You see her like unbutton, unzip her bag, and just kind of holds it towards you. It's like, I'm not touching it. Okay.
You were afraid of authorities catching you with weapon? You had said
I was
earlier?
afraid of the Aspis Consortium catching me with weapon.
If you
They
don't mind
operate
us.
here?
Yes, of course they operate here.
They operate
get her to say
around.
it.
I mean, I would not have left you if I thought I would get caught, but I attempt to plan for everything. If I happen to get caught, if the Aspis Consortium wanted to take me here, they would. Not much stopping it. And I did not want to have a weapon if they did.
That is the question. What do you want us to do if they decide to take you captive?
And you see her kind of look around for a minute, and she's making sure that you guys are alone, like
Just
alone
talking
enough
quiet,
to
yeah.
talk. Yeah, and she leans in and she goes, "Okay, so you've proven rather trustworthy. Here is the first half of your payment," and she uploads 100 credits to each of you.
Heck yeah.
That's rich!
Eyes and suspicious.
And she keeps leaning in. She goes, "The plan, if everything goes correctly, is I will enter the Aspis Consortium. It is a place of business. I will enter the Silver Drake. It is a place of business. It is up front. It looks very on the up and up. And then someone will likely come meet me at the front desk to pull me into the back meeting room. They will likely not allow any of you to come. The plan is to have eyes on me, whether you work yourself into the room with me. I can't speak out of my station. I am there to be a diplomat, to talk about these taxes that the Starfinder Society, by the Aspis Consortium's eyes, wrongly placed on them because they came out of nowhere.
If I may interrupt, no. What are these negotiations supposed to be above board? Obviously, we know their habit of taking you hostage, but what is these talks supposed to be about? Are they supposed to be a negotiation to reduce the tax, or is it simply you are placating them until they're satisfied?
Well, the Starfinder Society wants their full tax. The Aspis Consortium doesn't want to pay any of it, so I imagine we'll fall somewhere in the middle if everything works out perfectly.
All right. Obviously, our first goal, as we've discussed, and I kind of just look at everybody, is to have all of us in the room with you. Secondly, if that's not going to pass, I'm happy to try to come along with you, just myself, as an assistant of some kind.
I will defer to all of your judgments. I think the assistant thing would probably work. They're not going to see another... You see her kind of like roll her eyes, and they're not going to see another female coming in as any sort of threat. But if we try to bring all of you in first, they're not going to let you come in.
So, like, what kind of place is this, like, to normal people? Like, can we just come in to open up a high interest banking account, or is this like a bar or what?
Very often it is a type of trade commerce, and you can stay there if you need to. You can access computers. You can rent computer time on their in their what's it called, their network. They allow you to access their network on their computers for a price. They will offer you loans, as would anyone of the Aspis Consortium's nature. They have money and they know how to make it.
Well,
So
and
you
one-
just want eyes on you?
yes, of course.
That is the plan. I can tell you a general layout of the building. I already have us a shuttle secured. That was part of my leaving.
Okay, what is and how obvious do we have to be, or how subtle and obviously this place is run by the Aspis Consortium. That is public knowledge, correct?
Yes.
All right, so their propensity to kidnap and otherwise hold hostage diplomats such as yourself, that is also commonly known?
That is less public knowledge and more known around the higher ends of businesses like the Starfinder Society, people who often send diplomats.
So do we have to feign ignorance, or can we simply be upfront and say we are not comfortable leaving you out of our sights? And while we're happy to come here for negotiations and stand politely to the side, we do want to have our eyes on you at all times.
I don't think it's out of the question. I can't tell you how they'll react.
What happens if they do try to take you captive?
That was my
Do we
question.
need to get you out, or
Not by force. There is a Starfinder Society hub in the settlement of Roselight. You should go there if anything is to come up like me getting captured. You are not to go there prior, because it is very dangerous to show people that you are working both with the Aspis Consortium and the Starfinder Society. There is not supposed to be any known connection between them.
but
If
we go there
negotiations
without you?
goes-
Yes,
So as of
you leave me. They won't harm me unless I do something stupid, which is why I don't want a weapon.
So as of immediate knowledge, we are independent contractors.
Yes, hired bodyguards. Some of you can walk into the Silver Drake 10 minutes after me, for all I care. Some of you can stay outside forever and never come in. They don't, as far as I know, they don't know that you are with me right now, and I don't think me walking in with 5 bodyguards is going to look very well.
Very well.
They likely know we came.
With one set of arms, with one set of arms crossed on, crossed, and the other two draw both her weapons and place them on the table, and she slides them over to the middle.
One of them goes
So you
off and you
grab
shoot the bartender in the head.
Oh god!
No! Terminal's free!
I don't even know your name.
Got it!
Let's go on that computer.
Tetsu picks up one of the guns.
I'll pick up the other.
Hold those for me. Please don't use all my rounds.
Which one of you have which gun? There's a Mercy pistol that does non-lethal damage, and the other is a 9mm, basically like a semi-auto.
Do I know what the Mercy pistol is?
Yes, it's very clearly like a pistol that shoots light out of it.
Actually,
It's like
I
an orange
hesitate,
tip on the end.
and with one hand I leave my hand on the Mercy pistol, and I look at it and all. Can I get away with this one? It's not actually harming anybody.
They'll take it from you, but they won't see it as a threat. You don't go into the back room with the weapons anyway.
Right.
If we were to try to, have the same situation as just now, if you were to carry Wasp with you, would they have a problem with that? Would they find it and probably confiscate?
They will likely search me when I come in.
Okay, so we're not doing that, I guess.
I mean, that thing is small. You could maybe have it crawl through the vents.
Possible, but it's not the most quiet of bots. It's not built for that. It's built for, breaking in.
As you guys are talking, she kind of leans in and she goes, "Now, it's not supposed to be known that you are with, like, any kind of connection with the Starfinder Society, including the Infinity Corps, and working with the Aspis Consortium. You don't want to bring that up whatsoever. If possible, if you think you're good enough to do it, or you want to spend some time," you see her like check her her phone, and she goes, the meeting is probably 2 hours from now. I told them that I had a shuttle scheduled for an hour from now, and then we'll be down there. But if fake names, disguises, if something goes down, you don't want to be marked by the Aspis Consortium.
I can go in disguised.
All right.
Sadly, there's not much I can do.
Let's do
The same goes for me.
a few things. Let's shuttle down, obviously all together. I take back my mercy pistol, but I let whoever, Tetsu or Aizen, have my semi-auto.
Tetsu can have it.
All right. I point at you. Don't
What
use
is
all
it?
my bullets. It's a semi-auto.
That's just all it's called. Okay.
Tactical semi-auto pistol is what it's called. Yeah. Good thing we don't have a giant jellyfish in our party. It's not conspicuous. Speaking of, though, conspicuous and not, I'm going in as your assistant. Mercy pistol can be taken from me. Simple measures. I am going to be directly your protection, so to speak, but at the most that's a mercy pistol, and that's sort of should paint the right picture. I think we need to separate. I don't think all of us go in there at once. Perhaps one bodyguard, I look at Tetsu, directly in with us, so it's simply like her, me, and you. Moat, you have the drone, so perhaps you go in on your own for your own reasons. Try to get in there and
I got an idea.
use the bathroom for all I care. All right, and then
I got an idea. So
yeah, but then we have
One
the
thing.
rock and the jellyfish.
No,
Well, I
Aizen
have a
should be
name.
bodyguard. I can enter not associated with you all as someone else.
I was actually thinking the same thing, especially with that cable you just showed. Having you
No.
at the computers would be helpful, considering they said you could get computer access.
Well, I suppose it's a
I can, yes.
last resort. Okay.
I can go
As-
in as someone else, so yes.
As for me, subtlety will probably not work very well. Perhaps I can post up across the street, perhaps at a different establishment. Just keep comms open, ready to respond.
Perfect.
Nanal, you did say that this was also a store, correct? He could just come in as a patron looking for some illegal substances?
That's what I was hoping Moat would do. The jellyfish is a little bit conspicuous. If a jellyfish walks in, he'll...
I do have a name, but
I'm simply referring to it from the eyes of those that we're trying to avoid. Forgive me, Dr. Lin. I just make, like, eye contact with you. Like,
Where do
Ow.
you make eye contact?
at the,
He has no
at the
eyes.
glasses that are on the middle of
okay.
his,
Yeah, I just like to point it out just because.
Yeah, where she's supposed to the glasses.
His butt.
You see Nanal nodding along with all of this, and eventually she kind of cuts in and she goes, "Okay, well the general layout from what I have been told by the Starfinder Society, the main room that you walk into is kind of a reception holding area. There will be a desk. There will be people behind the desk. They'll check you in. They have binders, that kind of stuff. You see her kind of think for a second. Then there's a room to the right and left. One of them is a computer room. The other is a break room. But I think the desk will tell us anyway. And I don't think they're going to care if you walk into the employee break room. They're just going to say, "Get out!" No. The door behind them is entry into in rooms, bathrooms, and then the door behind that is the further back room where I will be taking the meeting.
Okay. So the closest space to the meeting room is the bathrooms. And what else?
It's actually a very long hallway. It's basically like an inn type area. They will house people, very important people that come back. They have beds and couches and reading areas and that kind of stuff.
Okay. So like I said, perhaps one closest distance to us, whether that's you, Tetsu, or Moat, whatever, get as close as possible. Whether that's those rooms, the bathrooms, however. So we have people spaced out. I don't honestly
I'll be
know
trying
what...
to follow you as
bathroom.
best I can.
Exactly. So we'll enter staggered.
Maybe Moten bathroom with Wasp nearby.
Yes, and then, but
Me on
you, Tetsu,
computers.
can get the door open, I suppose. Alright, this is going to be very interesting. Let's get some shopping for disguises. I need, well, I don't know how I can really disguise myself, but, yes. She just looks very like, I'm not used to not being myself.
Perhaps you could
Let's see.
conceal 2 of your arms, so if they're looking for someone with 2 arms, you won't qualify, if you understand.
I do this thing with, like, shouldering back the bottom set of arms, like, does this work? I don't know how weirdly that would be. I don't have any spells for that type of stuffs. That'll be interesting. How
What
much?
kind of spells do you have?
She has no spells. Period.
I have super cool stuff. Oh man.
Okay.
I
should
cannot
we-
hold my disguise for long, but I can get in there.
Alright. Well, how long? Minutes? An hour?
About 10 minutes.
That's not going to help anything. This meeting is going to be longer than 10 minutes.
That's
Much.
enough for him
It-
to get into position.
It will likely take longer than 10 minutes for me to get to the back room.
That is a long time for the back room.
Tetsu, why don't you just wear some sort of cloak or some sort of hat instead of something that lasts
Tetsu
10 minutes?
The lone
Looks
wanderer
up-
walks into the Aspis Consortium.
I take the hat
Tetsu
off
looks
of
up at
you,
the horn
put it on
protruding
Tetsu.
from his head.
Oh, that's true.
Just put a hat over that.
Can you
I do
wear
not think that works.
pompadour wig and then it'll cover the whole...
Like that's so.
I will just
Elvis
look
Tetsu.
like me with a wig. There are not many of my kind here.
How much is a disguise kit?
Great question. Let's
20
reference
credits.
Nethys.
Is
Thank
that
you,
really?
Nethys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably.
And is
All
a
kits are
disguise kit the
credits.
type of thing that I can use multiple times with one? Like, can we go and try to put together? I'm not gonna go and buy. Hey, do you have a disguise kit? But like, can I go try to buy pieces and put together some form of disguise kit, some makeup, some other stuff, and try to use it for both myself and Tetsu?
I will say yes and yes. You know that if you were like in Roselight already, it'd be hard to find a disguise kit, but in a place like Upwell, kind of shady, you can go around and buy pieces here and there. You can buy like some makeup from this person. This person's probably got a wig. This person's got some shoddy clothes, and eventually you can throw together a disguise kit for 20 credits.
Perfect. I'm gonna go
You
ahead and
walk up to someone wearing shoddy clothes.
I really want you to go to Len and like put some eyeshadow on him until he looks not like a jellyfish.
draw
ready.
eyes on him.
She just paints a whole
Hello,
body.
I am a human being.
Yeah.
I will excuse
It's a
myself and
condition.
just double check if anybody else needs any anything else as I go shopping?
Like Eisen is like, there's nothing you can do for this. Like
And that's
he just kind
fine.
of shrugs and is.
I get like a trench coat for Tetsu instead of his suit jacket.
He's not in his suit jacket now. He's currently in like ring mail, like that's very heavy by the look of it.
Oh God, yeah, no,
He basically looks like a soldier right now. Like,
yeah. We're
Yeah,
gonna.
because last time he was in his suit, bugs attacked. So
We have access to our spaceship, right? Like we can go back to the spaceship and change clothes as needed, so it's not like awkwardly changing into this stuff in the tavern.
yeah. I mean,
why are you
can
stripping?
You could either go back to your ship or find a bathroom or something, but that'd look weird for like 5 different races to walk into separate bathrooms and come out different as well.
It would just be Tetsuya
5
and
different
myself,
other
I
races.
believe. Those are the only people I can disguise.
Okay.
Moat has a faceplate. One's a rock. One's a jellyfish. Tetsu's the only one that looks remotely humanoid right now.
Okay.
And even he is partially robotic.
Yeah, so we'll rent a locker. Well, I will ask Nanal if we have plans to return to the spaceship. Like, what is this? Are we going to be dropped off somewhere else? Where is this leaving us?
I hope so. The plan would be to get back to Akiton if possible and report back to the Infinity Core. If anything else goes poorly, then, like I said, there's a Starfinder. You are working for the end all be all. You're working for the Starfinder Society, and there is a Starfinder Society outpost here.
All right. I go ahead and apply some makeup to Tetsu, so at the very least he looks like he's not the same shade of skin. You know what I mean? Like he's a very like a reddish type of creature, so I'll make it just shifted enough to not be like, oh, that guy. Can't do much about the horn, but I will stick a mustache on there and whatever else I could do. Change his outfit to not be the thing is like he typically dresses up, so we'll change that up and I do my best. I don't know what I can do for myself, but I will put my makeup on a little bit different and hide some of my more distinctive markings and patterning, because unlike a lot of Kasatha, I have a slightly bluer tint to my skin, like a distinctly more blue than a lot of Kasatha, so I will change that up, and that's about all I can do.
For sure. Tetsu, they Seha disguises you out, kind of changes the tone of your skin, etc. And with all of that, you guys can let me know if anything else is coming up or if you're ready to go.
I think we're ready to go.
Eisen does talk with Nanal of like, if I were to say I was your bodyguard, how deep would they let me theoretically in to the building?
They would likely very purposely stop you at the front desk. They would keep you updated about me. They attempt to keep faces open. They want to save face. They would come back to you and report every 5-10 minutes that I'm safe, etc. They're not going to cut off her communications, anything like that. But they won't let you come back with me.
Can I request?
They don't have a waiting room or something that they'd let me sit in?
They have plenty of chairs in the front room, and then they have the computer room that I'm sure they would let you go into as long as they don't catch you using the computers or anything like that.
I would
I'd try them
recommend,
anyway.
Eisen, that at the very least, the front that you put up is to insist on having eyes on her. If you don't have to be in the same room, that's perfectly fine. But whether that's a camera or something, you want eyes on her. I think that's the most likelihood of getting your request fulfilled.
You see her kind of look at you for a second. She goes, "There, something I've always been told about the Silver Drake. They do have most of the rooms and roof covered by a glass roof to let the rose light kind of shine through."
Oh.
I look at Moat.
And is that
Would they
where
let me
you come
out
in,
on the
Moat?
roof?
There's a smirk on Moat's face plate as they hear that.
So perhaps that's where we leave Wasp. Or yourself. Can you get up there? And I'm assuming, and I quickly turn.
No, not a chance.
I look over at Nanal, and I'm assuming they obviously don't willingly invite people up on their roof. This is more...
I imagine not. No, I've never seen it myself. I've just been told that, like, they're very uppity about the Silver Drake. They like to show that they have money. They're one of the few plots in Roselight with plant life, grass, trees. They like to let the Roselight in. That's why they stationed on Roselight as a mining corporation, and because they like the light, they were like, okay, let's be here.
All right.
All right.
I think that's where we put Wasp. That's our best bet. So we have eyes on us. at all
Actually,
times.
I agree.
If they let me up there as well, that
They're
would
not
be
going
nice
to
because
l-
I could.
Not openly, and I don't want to ask because I don't want them to think that anything else is up there.
And I think Wasp doing flybys is a lot more inconspicuous than a giant rock standing on the roof looking in.
Who glows?
I'll just ask for a camera feed if they'll give it to me.
I think that would be best.
Is there a public shuttle down to Roselight that I can take separate from all of you?
I'm sure you can find one. None of them are free.
Tetsu stands. Tetsu tentatively stands. How expensive?
If you find a cargo ship like we're gonna ride on, probably like 5 credits.
I will head down to the Silver Drake if our plan is ready. Kind of looks at his oddly tinted skin and goes, I believe I am ready. I will go in ahead.
Dr. Lin, do you want to join as well, as you're not going to be in the Silver Drake with us?
That is a fine idea. I think I'll come to Tetsu.
All right. All right, let's hustle. Let's move. I think we're as good as we're going to get.
No,
Anything
you
I should
wait.
know as your
You will
assistant?
go first.
I'm here on a diplomatic mission sent from the Starfinder Society, and we're going to attempt to discuss better terms for the taxes that the Starfinder Society wrongly placed on them. We're on their side.
Interesting.
Oh, all right. All right, I think at that point we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Tetsu and
Yeah.
Len head off to find a different shuttle and hopefully arrive before them to the Silver Drake.
For sure. Easy enough, very least like 5 minutes before them, if not a little more. You guys all find these different cargo cruisers empty. Everyone, Tetsu, you have to slip an android driver the 5 credits. You
Yep.
guys watch Nanal transfer also an android driver 5 credits. Each of you are loaded in. You feel this cargo ship kind of lift up. It's like a very it's almost like a hover helicopter, if that makes sense. Like it can go any direction it wants. It can just sit there. It's got the little hover jets that turn whatever direction it wants to go, if that makes sense.
Omnicopter.
Basically, yeah. And so each of you are loaded in. You feel it lift up and take off. Looking out of the enclosed windows of the cab, you see Liavara below. You watch as you fly through the atmosphere. Yellow, red, orange, and purple gases envelop the ship and become like a thick fog. You can't see anything. And for a second, the wonder of if the android can see anything might cross your mind. Eventually, you feel the ship lurch a moment as if stopping hard. Then you watch the gas propelled upwards as your small cargo ship is enveloped in a pinkish rose-colored light. A minute passes, and you feel the ship slow and then land. This is my stop. Each of your androids says as you disembark.
Ooh.
Yeah,
As
Tetsu-
you As you step off the cargo ship, your eyes take a moment to adjust. You see tall buildings everywhere, a bustling city, much ritzier, much more controlled than Upwell. All of the city enveloped in this pink-hued light. As you look around, you see these iron-shaped clear spheres that are encasing everything, including yourselves. You watch as you exit. Other androids are immediately beginning to carry large barrels and crates, some by hand and some by lifts, onto the ship that brought you here. And then I'll kind of looks at Okay, the Silver Drake's not far from here. I'm sure Tetsu is already on his way. We have maybe 45 minutes if anyone wants to talk anything over. Else we can go.
No, Dr. Lin knows what he's doing. Tetsu knows what he's doing. Moat, you're staying outside, getting Wasp in position, and then, I suppose, trying to get inside the building. And then Aizen, you're with us.
Well, I was thinking that you said that people could rent computers from the Silver Drake, right?
Yes, they do allow people to access their computers.
I think I'll give that a go. Might be able to get some info about the area. Just kind of,
Sure, just make
see
sure
what I do.
Wasp is in position prior, yes?
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Oh,
She takes a
in
deep
case
breath.
I do get a camera feed, or if you have a way of messaging me, we should have either a phrase or some sort of signal so that I know that there's trouble without alerting others. Either you or Nanal.
Or both. I look at it all. Have a phrase that you can slip in anywhere.
Not prepared, no. Do you?
Just say something about strawberries.
You see like a weird look cross her face.
Aizen
Sure,
also
yeah.
looks confused. Of
I
like,
don't know. Do you have a better
what?
idea?
The hell is a
No,
strawberry?
Yeah, Aizen just doesn't know what that is.
What if I say something about dinner?
Perfect.
That's
yes.
fine.
Just say that you're getting a little bit peckish.
So
And if things are
peckish
really
or
bad,
No,
dinner?
dinner.
about strawberry.
Okay, so strawberries for dinner.
Oh dear.
This is
Murder
falling apart.
everybody.
We're not even
Understood.
Kill mode.
there. Suddenly, Wasp unfurls.
Say
kill
how
mode
kill mode
activated.
activated. Yeah.
All right, I think
Okay.
we go. I'm nervous.
All right. Tetsu,
Yeah.
you arrived there first. I assume
Great.
is the plan, right?
Yes.
Or are you getting on the planet first and you want to arrive there after? What's the overall plan here?
My plan, unless somebody told me otherwise, Tetsu had said he was going to go first and like kind of just situate himself in there
Okay.
because he's a
I'll-
different hue and he looks totally different than the other Kanobos on station.
All right. I'll pull you guys on the map then.
At about the same time, is there like some shop or like restaurant across the street that I could just be sitting at like a table, hat pulled down low, watching the area for anything?
Just imagining.
No shop that you wouldn't look weird in, but there is like street benches if you would just want to grab one of those and be like old school reading a newspaper or something.
Yeah, exactly. I'll pick up like a space newspaper.
I'm just imagining like Wanda in like Age of Ultron, just sitting outside and like just pretending to have tea.
I was thinking more like
Basically, yeah.
Inspector Gadgety, where he's like cut little holes out for his glasses to like fit through the newspaper, but there's no eyes there, so it's hard to tell.
Why did I do this? I don't see out
I
of
don't
these.
have eyes.
I am confused.
Yeah. You, as you see in front of you, the Silver Drake. It is a very well outlined building, whether it's made of like chromium or silver, it's kind of hard to tell, but it is a shiny silver color where you get the sense it gets its name from. You see a female android with blue hair standing in front of the computer as you walk up the steps and walk in. As you walk in,
Is it
you're
the
greeted
same
in
model?
this. What?
Is it this like so far?
Not
Both
all
androids have
are
been
the
blue hair
same.
females.
No.
I'm an
Goodness,
android. Don't
Carrot.
try that on me.
It is not the same model, but you have seen like significant similarities to them.
They're like sister models.
like the one you found at the space station is probably version 3, while this is version 2 or something.
I want to clarify that androids are not made in batches here. That's not the race of android. This isn't like iHuman or something like that. Androids.
They are both actually.
Really?
But
Don't
yes,
tell me
they're-
how my people work, okay?
yeah,
Back off.
Half.
First of all, you were
Goddamn bitch.
you were living first, and then you just
Well-
got robot parts put in you.
Did
I'm-
you just assume it's technobiology?
Yeah, that.
I helped
pretty
make his technobiology things.
rude.
need to
But no,
add-
androids are both actually. They are very much made. They're not like. I hear an echo as a heads up to somebody. Just making sure that's not coming through. Okay, they're not like
I don't hear it.
Now we
I
can't hear
do,
you at all,
but yeah.
Waffles.
He's not saying anything.
you can't hear me at all.
Oh,
There you go.
I thought I heard him say
Okay,
They are
perfect.
both.
Anyway, androids are both. They were very much originally created to be these workers kind of enslaved, and eventually through a bunch of different like people fighting for rights, androids coming to their own sentience kind of thing, they fought for the right to be a race, like a human race and stuff. There are still very much people who consider them to be robots and slaves, and they're still made like they are made.
Yes.
Like they're not like androids don't reproduce.
No, I know. I'm simply saying it's not like there's a lot of variety in an android. It's not like, oh, hey, there's popular Model A and almost all robots or androids are Model A. Like that's not it. They're very unique.
I agree.
I'm just saying the
100%.
two that we've run into are blue-haired females that Waffles I asked if they look similar and he said yes.
Yep. Androids themselves are very unique. They're also known to be like there is a line of androids called distribution androids. There's a line of androids called like mediator androids. There's a line of androids called blah blah blah. Like androids are made for specific purposes, and they're likely look very similar for those purposes because they're made.
Okay. We'll take her out. Go on.
Lore drop.
But you walk into the Silver Drake. You walk into this kind of middle meeting room for the first time in a while, and the outside and on the inside you see plants. You are greeted by grass, trees. You're greeted by this blue-haired android. You walk in, you see chairs, you see a spread of this very clear liquid and fruit just laid out on a table before you. This is a very ritzy greeting. This is like fresh fruit is 200 like credits a basket. Like this basket's probably worth 200 credits. So that would strike you as a little odd. But you walk up and you see this android kind of stand up from her chair, and she goes, "Yes, what would you like?"
Take the fruit and run.
I have.
This
I'm
is around
good.
her.
Runs. Yeah. Give me your bushes. Shrubbery. Tetsu just kind of walks up and looks around and says, "I've been told I can get a terminal access here. I have some downtime and I would like to relax if I'm able."
Sure. Could I have your name and 50 credits, please?
The player in me cries. Tetsu transfers 50 credits though, and he goes, "My name is Samson."
Samson? Okay. And you hear like she's clicking away on a keyboard. May I ask why? And you see her like lift her head.
Bored?
You can say no if you wish.
Oh, I'm just relaxing. I have time to kill.
Okay, that is fine. The room will be to your left. As she points literally over here to your left, you see 2 double doors.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in there, or do I have my own terminal?
Let me reveal it for you. As you walk in there are 2 others in there. There are 2 humans, kind of darker skinned, one with colored hair, one not. Both female. They seem the one closer to you right now as you turn in and sit down at a computer, seems kind of kicked back in her chair, not really paying attention to her computer, seems to be more relaxing. The other is just typing away, like headphones on, not paying any attention.
Actually, Tetsu is going to go to this terminal over here and like
Okay.
sit in the corner and like kind of nudge his screen so that like it's tilted so you can't just blatantly see what he's looking at on the terminal.
Sure. And when you do it, you kind of like turn your screen away from this girl
Yeah,
that is like has her headphones on, just typing away, and she glances up for a second, nods to you, and then goes back to typing.
Yeah, Tetsu just returns the nod and like leans back, look like he's just kind of as casual as like Tetsu gets, which is not very casual, but like he is looking like a guy who can't relax, is attempting to relax, and he's just going to type in. And also, like, is there any way for him to check like how feasible it is to like tap into like the local feed or anything?
No, you don't know the type of countermeasures a computer has until you hack,
Gotcha.
or unless
So
you have some specific information for it.
right. So for right now, he is going to assume it's protected as hell, and just kind of wait. But he is going to send on his comm unit to the group and just say, "I am in position. Let me know if I should, at some point, access the system."
Yep. And each of you hear that. Tetsu, what I will tell you is
Well,
like,
it's just texting, basically.
Yeah. So each of you guys see that. And Tetsu, what I will tell you is that like as you kind of look over the computer, just like normal probing the computer, seeing what it has on it, you see that like you do have like a what you consider probably to be about a 10% delve into the Aspis Consortium. You get a delve into what they're doing on Roselight, at least what they say they're doing on Roselight, who some of their dealings are with, and like what the Silver Drake is about, basically.
Probably like only the legitimate side, right? Like the legitimate dealings and legitimate reason this place exists, right?
There's some illegitimacy in there, like if you want to purchase drugs, feel free to go up to the desk here and talk to the person, blah blah blah. Like there are like some backdoors to illegitimate sides, but it's not like we kidnap people.
Right, but that's pretty brazen. Relatively brazen, at least, right?
It is, and like even to you that's rather brazen, but you get the sense they're charging people to do it. Likely security either already knows it and they're not going to get charged for it, or they don't care because Aspis Consortium is probably paying them off.
Weird question.
Right.
Do you text us or update us as to like the things that can be requested here? Should anybody like need that?
Tetsu probably wouldn't,
That's
because
fine.
he doesn't think it's relevant.
For sure. I'm just
Yeah.
curious.
I mean, everybody's got we've got a plan, and this doesn't seem to be part of it at all. So
That's fair.
Okay.
no getting high on the job. Say ha 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 ha.
Say ha ha ha.
Say ha ha ha.
And I cry.
Oh, do I cry? Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
I've fallen into
Sit down,
pace with
Miss
the
Pip.
other two, so
Moat has fallen well behind in pace and just kind of takes in the city as they walk through. Kind of getting a gauge if they walk by the Silver Drake or adjacent buildings for like surveillance systems and any sort of like overhead surveillance that might be flying around the city, just kind of checking on things?
Okay. Yeah, you don't see any overhead surveillance. You are walking by the Silver Drake. It doesn't seem to be surveilled nearly at all.
I'd like to also just keep an eye out for all those things, and I will have, as we enter, so like for the future, I am keeping an eye on like where security cameras are and just all of that type of stuff as well, just casing the joint. Subtly.
Subtly. Okay.
I'm going to be doing the
Fair
same
enough.
thing, but for people. More of like, who are they showing on their front of like, who has weapons? How strong do they look? Do they all look like, they can fight well? That sort of stuff.
Look at us. Well-rounded team. Almost acting like we know what the heck we're doing.
Look at all
And
these
also, one thing I mean to do, like kind of in the minutes before they arrive, Tetsu is going to request to go to the bathroom just to see how much of a big deal that is, because we were told the bathrooms are kind of like backdoor. Like he's just kind of gauging how easy is it for him to go a little bit away from the front area.
Sure. As you are requested, as you come up to the front desk, you request to go to the bathroom. You see her look up. She goes, "Yes, just a minute." And you see her like reach over and she types like 2 keys. And another android, a male android, kind of walks from the back up front. He goes, "Right this way."
Tetsu follows him and just heads to the bathroom.
I am attempting to reveal areas. There you go. He basically points you out. He says, "All of these on the left are bathrooms. I will wait out here."
Why are there doors on the right?
Those are rooms for whoever wishes to stay. Beds,
strange.
couches, reading, chairs.
How much for a night, in case I want to stay?
250 credits.
Tetsu on the
That's
inside
pricey.
cries as he just goes into the middle stall. Are there any vents or anything?
Inside the bathroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have your normal kind of like very small bathroom vent on the ceiling.
Okay.
You know that like
And-
releases smell.
Yeah, So Tetsu will go in, go to the bathroom, leave, and then like, provide nothing happens when he gets back, he'll just text the others that there's an escort to the bathroom. There is a vent system. No idea if it connects to the rest of the building, but you are not. Once you go behind the desk, you are not alone.
And he will walk you back out. He ensures that you like walk around the desk, and then he kind of you see him nod to the female android and walks back to the back room.
I think that's our cue then. Shall we make shit go down?
Building's on
Pull out my
fire!
gun.
Let's watch things explode.
But just to be clear, like, they didn't check me for a gun when I went back there or anything, right?
No,
Like, nobody scanned me. Yeah, I'll also text that is hey, at least that far back. No gun checks in here. All good.
We walk in as Tetsu's escorted back to the room, and we make that awkward eye contact as he's texting us, and we like get the bling just as he walks into the room.
Aizen actively does not look at Tetsu.
No, I know. I'm kidding.
Tetsu looks up hearing the bling going, the fuck? That was really odd.
Though, as they are entering, Mo is passing the building, and are there alleyways between the buildings?
no, it is actually very oddly open compared to what else, like everywhere else you've seen in Roselight. Like this is very much check out our building. We have money. We don't
Gotcha.
want
Okay.
anyone. We don't want it. Like the rest of Roselight is like New York City almost, and like this
Gotcha.
is like the one cottage within New York City, except it's made out of silver.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like a Manhattan mansion sort of thing.
Yeah.
Basically,
Gotcha. Okay. So in that respect, having seen that from further away than right next to it, Moat will have basically instructed as he passed a different secluded or not populated area, Wasp to pop off their belt and use some vents to just kind of, or jets to roll into a alleyway or somewhere, and then unfold and begin tailing at an altitude of around 500 to 1,000 feet. And Moat will just kind of hang out around the building as Wasp will slowly make its way to the over the roof and begin moving towards doing its part.
okay. The rest of you are entering the building.
Yes.
Yes, I'm gonna
Not
enter.
all of us.
I'm gonna enter a couple, like a half step behind Ninal, with my comm unit in my hand, sort of like looking up and typing and looking up, sort of very like, I'm busy here.
I am walking literally directly next to Zeha in like a very practiced manner of this is my spot and this is the way that the formation goes for everything to be safe.
Okay. And then Nal is also walking in, head held high. You see her step very quickly up forward to the female android. You guys see the same thing Tetsu did. Door on your left, door on your right, long hallway down the center behind the desk, another double door. You see the silver desk kind of laid out, baskets of fruit, bunch of chairs. Looks like it's a big waiting room kind of thing. And then Nal steps up and says, I have a meeting.
I want to.
You see,
Sorry,
Go ahead.
very quick addendum just before it gets too far. I think as we're walking, I will very like belatedly kind of like think about my role and hand off my mercy pistol to Aizen. It makes more sense for the bodyguard to have a non-lethal weapon.
okay,
Acceptable.
for sure. And you see Nal step up and she goes, I have a meeting with about the taxes in the Pact. And you see the android typing away for a second, looks up, name Ninal. You see Ninal nod. Very well. And she click, click, very quickly presses two buttons. This same male android comes up that we saw with Tetsu. Think kind of Data from Star Trek.
Nice.
Very, very buttoned up kind of android, just very non-emotional. Like, looks at you all and he says, Ninal, you may come into the back.
I don't even really look up from my phone as she steps forward. I just follow.
As
You
they
see
do this,
him.
I walk directly up to the desk and say, I am her security while on Roselight. I understand if I can't follow her back to the room, but is there any way I could get a security feed of some sort? Or as close as I can within your comfort? Just for the sake of safety.
You can have a seat, and if you wish, we can apply a monitor to her that will play audio for you.
Acceptable.
That is all we can do.
At hearing that, I do look up, kind of, I've been like following, so just like, as her assistant, am I allowed?
At this point, like the android had been stepping up to you, to like hand up, kind of stopping you. He goes, "You are her assistant
Yes.
for what?"
What do you mean for what? I'm her assistant.
He kind of, you see him turn his head and then all. Do you need her for discussions? Does she talk for you? And then all like shakes her head. No, she's my assistant. She keeps my records. She will she's learning from me. And you'd see him like think for a second. Okay, she can learn.
I like
He like
hold up
steps back.
my comm unit, just like a Just like not even like facing him, but just kind of like a yeah, that's what I do.
And
The
he like,
android then like leads into a radio. We're gonna
I'm
need 2
texting my
sets of
BFF.
restraints.
please bring 2 sets of rope. Thank you.
Yeah.
But he kind of steps back and he seems to have taken that for an answer and is going to allow you in. To tell you about some of the checks you guys wanted to make as you come in, you see cameras everywhere. There's like 4 cameras in the hallway. There's probably about 6 cameras in this main room. There's another 4 to 5 in the room with Tetsu. And these are cameras you can see. You assume places like the Aspis Consortium also have cameras you can't see.
Mhm.
So with all these cameras, they're not allowing Aizen a camera feed on her.
They're not.
They're allowing an audio feed though, and you guys would have
Which is weird.
specifically heard
Yep,
it.
you would have heard that very well.
Okay.
And Tetsu, just for the record, is like kind of browsing, like just he's going on like the VidNet and everything, and just kind of, watching
Playing
random
cat videos.
videos. Yeah,
Browsing
playing cat
Reddit.
videos. Actually,
Playing cat
knowing Tetsu, he's probably like plugged in like a headset with like really heavy, intense metal music, and also playing cat videos.
You just hear him crack up every 5 seconds. It's like,
And you just see like this little kitten like on its back playing with a yarn ball.
He just sat there
Such
going,
a silly kitten.
If someone comes out to go to the bathroom and he sees like Tetsu laughing, like Aizen will be like, "What the hell is going on?"
Probably just intense smiling.
okay, but this android does lead you into the back.
I hand
you-
over my comm unit to this android, I suppose, unless they have some sort of like tech android.
No, they give you kind of a imagine like at restaurants when they give you like these beeper kind of things that alert you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's like this just square type of unit that like as you're listening, like they hand it to you, and then you see her go back to the computer and like type a couple of things, and then you're hearing like shuffling and footsteps that you imagine to be like Ninal rubbing it, like it's rubbing against like Ninal's pocket or something as it's like in her pocket.
Have they
This
gone
is
into
an
the room yet?
Applebee's.
Have they gone into the room yet, or can I take like half a second to time her footsteps to the sounds I'm hearing, just to see how much of a delay there is between the comm?
You're listening to it, trying to time it out. It's like 0.2 seconds. It's next to 0.
Got it.
You imagine it's on like a local network or something.
Right, and Aizen also assumes that they're going to spoof it at some point, but this is better than nothing.
Sure.
And then he'll turn around, look at the fruit bowl, and say, "Do you mind if I eat something?"
Please enjoy yourself. It is for our guest.
gonna get drugged.
It is poison.
The drugs are in the fruit.
He'll take one
Turn
piece
the
of
wall.
fruit and like a glass of water. I assume that's what it is, unless it's like a bubbling liquid of some sort.
You smell it, and it's very sweet. It's like sweet smelling. You can take a drink if you wish.
No, just the fruit. I'm not. No open liquids for us.
Sure. You eat the fruit and you die. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's actually very good.
You fool!
It is very good. Like you could imagine, it is definitely not like mass-produced kind of anything. It's probably some type of farmed fruit. How they got it, completely up to you to surmise if they killed farmers or something. But it's like it's chill.
Also, this is a strawberry.
Speaking of
Time to die.
the city itself, do I get like strong vibes of home because of like the pink bubbly stuff compared to like the storm bubbles we have at home? Is this kind of similar tech?
I'm gonna say no, only because this is very purposely built. Makes it makes Roselight feel like a space station. Like
Got it.
you get the sense like water and air have to be recycled here, kind of thing.
Got
So
it.
like it's not the natural kind of feeling that you get at your home.
Mm-hmm.
But Ninal and Zeha are let in. As you enter this main room, you're kind of cornered on 2 sides by walls and plants. In front of you, you see a large silver desk, a very big, just ridiculous type of holographic rug in the middle of the room. To your top right corner, you see 2 very large pit beds that are housing very, very tiny squirrel-like creatures.
Oh, they're like
something between a squirrel and a
fennec.
fox.
It's a
Yeah.
fennec fox.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotta go
and then-
kidnap one now.
And then to your top left, you see what looks to be the remains of a dragon's head
Oh man.
Dichotomy.
sticking through the wall.
That's sick.
Behind the desk, you see this large silver desk. You see to the left of the desk or actually I guess to your right of the desk, is a very large half-orc female that is holding what looks to be some sort of minigun type gun, to where she has to hold it with 2 hands, and you get the sense it's like a rotating turret
Oh god.
type gun. And then on her back, she has a very large like warhammer. And then behind the desk, you see what looks to be a Farron, this short, stout type of almost gray, yellow-skinned, think like kind of Godfather-esque person behind the desk. As he kind of lifts his head up and he says, "No." And that's where we'll end the session.
Oh,
Ooh.
We are going to die.
oh guys, I
Also,
think
I'm pretty
my
sure we can take
spells
them.
are not gonna
Oh,
be
he
enough.
looks gumpy.
He looks